All right, so today's topic is really just function notation again. So this is a worksheet that you're being asked to do. So I'm going to walk you through some of these things to kind of help you. So your expectation is when we turn this in that you should have everything filled out, because I'm not going to do everything for you. Okay, so I want to talk about number one. So when we have a function, that number in the parentheses is just what we're going to plug in for x. And so we talked about in class how we always are going to write, sorry, I'll take that out and make it a blank. F of blank equals negative 2x squared. So we put a parentheses there. And then what we're going to put in that parentheses, in this case, is an 8. Oh, sorry, that's. Order of operations would say I would have to do this first. So 8 squared is 64. So now we have negative 2 times 64. That is negative 128. So I'm going to leave these two for you to do alone. This one is the same. This one, you're going to do put 3 in for x here, 5 in for x here. Don't forget to add them at the end. I thought I would do this one for you. This is an SAT question. Let's do this together because this one's a little bit more difficult. So this time it gives you f of n plus 3 equals 3n minus 5. Okay, and so basically what that means is this number in here is actually n plus 3. So let's compare those two. So n plus 3 and 2 are the same things, but when I'm doing the function, I ask you to put just n in. Okay, so let's take a look. If n plus 3 is 2, what would n have to be? Okay, so if n plus 3 was 2, it looks like if you subtracted 3 from both sides, n is actually equal to negative 1. So plugging that in, then we have 3 times negative 1 plus 5. Okay, here's another way of thinking of it. To find a number plus 3, you plug that number in minus 5, meaning that if you wanted to find a number, the number you plug in here has to be 3 minus that. Really pretty tricky. So negative 3 plus 5 is 2 for that. Okay, so that's a couple of those ones. Yesterday we reviewed graphs. This is a velocity graph. Let's just remember that the outputs, v of t equals, those are the things that we have on the y-axis, and the t's are on the x-axis. So if you have something in here, that is an x value. It's like the x-axis. If you have something over here, that you're going to find on the y-axis. So according to this, it says interpret v of t. That doesn't mean v times t. That just means the velocity of time t. Now, we're not going to put t's in there. We're going to put numbers, but then that tells me that would work for any number. Okay, let's pick one of these to do. So if I asked for the meaning of v, that would be the velocity time 2. You're going to need to write that. I ask you to find. So I'm one of this one. I'm asking you to find the y value and be this point, and it looks like the y value is halfway between here and here. So this is 0 to 5. Halfway between would be 2.5, and we want to use labels, meters meters per second. So you're going to need to make sure you fill in the missing ones there. Okay. Let's take a look at some of these. If a function is defined by f of x is 3x squared minus 5x plus 4, remember in class we showed that we would just rewrite that to help ourselves out. 3 parentheses squared minus 5 parentheses plus 4. So I'm going to have you finish that out. If we have x minus 4, then that's what you're going to fill in for these values. And notice I said show the substitution only. You do not have to distribute. Okay. I think you can do g of 2. I think you can do f of g of 2. Okay, your answer is going to be in terms of d here. And then try to divide those numbers, please. Let's take a look at a couple word problems. The number of hours people in the U.S. spend using the internet each year from 1998 to 2001 can be modeled by the function. Let's first take a look at that. So there's my function. Okay. Here's some other important info. So I have my function. Okay. My function is going to output the number of hours people are on this. That's what it's going to output. X is the number of years, be careful, since 1998. So what were the number of hours that people spent on the internet in the year 2000? Okay, now let's go. What am I going to put in for X? Remember, that's my input. Well, X is the number of years since 1998. How many years is 1998? This is a while ago. That means 2. So you're going to find f of 2. So make sure you do that. So finish that problem, please. Both of them. When I them, but I'm going to also highlight the important information. So on this one, a pool membership costs $7 per week in the summer. There is an option to rent out lockers for $2 per week. The total cost is given, okay? Total cost is p of x equals 7x. That's one function. Don't get a locker. Okay, so this is if you do get a locker, okay? If you don't get a locker, sorry, I should say that a little clearer. I'm gonna highlight that out. This is the option, $7 if you don't get a locker. I misspoke before. L of x equals 9x is if you do get a locker. So you're going to answer these questions, okay? Fran collected data on the number of feet she could walk each second and wrote the following rule to monitor her wailing rate. Wailing? Walking. All right, so her equation is the distance is 4 times t. So I'm going to let you finish those. That will help you highlight some key information. Okay, let's take a look at a table, and I want to do a few of these. And actually, I'm going to do my own questions. So in this table, let's be real careful. We have 3 things going on. This tells you the x value. This tells us the f of x value. And this tells you the g of x value. And the reason why it's written this way is that then they don't have to write the statement every time. Okay, so let me take a row. I'm going to take this row and write out what everything means, and then you can apply that to this problem. This is x, so that's x is 1. F of x equals 0. What that means is that's just here, so this means that f of 1 outputs is 0. That's what that 0 means. G of x equals 11. That means g of 1 equals 11. Good. Let's pick a different row. Let's take this row. What that row means is it gives you f of x and g of x when x is negative 3. So the statement means f of negative 3 equals 20. And this would be g of negative 3 equals negative 5. Actually, I just did that one for you. So I think that gives you enough information to then answer these questions about that. Okay, so that was some guidance on the wrap-up. Your assignment is to do pages 5 and 6. You also, if you get done with that, have a quiz that you should take on Edgenuity. So plenty to keep you busy.